Let him tell you more about that. Here's my interview with Paul Rodriguez. You were born in Culiacan, and then your family moved up to the U.S., like a lot of families, like my family as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And you landed up not in East LA, you landed in Compton, and then you joined the Air Force.
After years of migrant farm working and up and down, and we needed to settle down. My father had a bunch of kids, so he read an ad. It said Compton, a house for 4 bedrooms, $68. He thought the Virgin had answered all his prayers. No, she hadn't. It was kind of difficult. I didn't like it at first. I'd never seen a African American or African at all. Coming from Sinaloa, but it turned out to be a blessing. I got my swagger, my cool, so it's all been good.
So you grew up, and then right out of high school, you decided to join the Air Force.
Uncle Sam called me. Yes, I'm of that age. I'm about to be 70, believe it or not. Uncle Sam called me, and I want to go to Marines. I've seen too many of those guys come back in boxes. So I went, and, right after I got out of boot camp, it was over. And, it was a blessing, and I was good.
You're so hilarious. Uh, were you always funny when you were a kid? I mean, was it something that you did make people laugh?
I've always believed that's a gene defensive mechanism. I don't know what it is. I'm no psychologist, but my dad was a lot like me. My dad found humor in everything. And he had a rough life. I love my old man. Love my mother more. I think it's fair to say, but my old man was a great guy, and I'm glad God allowed me to have monetary success long enough for him to, his last 5 years of life were good. I would buy him his new car, and he was proud. But we lost him. My mom went through this terrible depression, but I made enough money that my dad knew that my family was going to be okay. And that's what he was concerned, more concerned than anything else. And indeed, bringing me to America was the biggest gift he ever gave me. Because I remember I didn't want to come, but I had no say so. I was a kid. My brother George, the oldest, he was going, I don't want to be a gringo. Although he looked more gringo than anybody else. Had red hair, freckles. He looked just like Canelo Alvarez, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Without the talent. And
So, so tell
but
me, how did you get into comedy? How did that happen?
it happened by a lady named Anita Cano, a professor at Long Beach University, where I was attempting to get me a bachelor's and then go on to Stanford Law. I'm a veteran, minority. My grades were good. I was a shoo-in. And, I used to disrupt her class. So about a month into her class, she brought me aside. She goes, listen, you're really, really funny, but you're disturbing the rest of the class. We can't get nowhere. If I'm so laughing. My husband is an accountant at the Comedy Store. Have you heard of it? I said, no. She goes, look, they have an amateur night on Mondays. I'll take you there. And if you're scared, I'll take some of the students and we'll back you up. Well, she did that. I went up on stage, and it was like I had found what I was born to do. I didn't even go back to her class. I just went on at it. Years later, I was asked to do the commencement speech for the class. And she says, I have another student who's really funny. I want you to help him out. And it was Gabriel Iglesias. The rest is history.
Oh
And
my God.
I know. I told Anita Cano, what are you doing being a professor? You know what the commission on my salary and especially Gabriel's salary would be? All I did for Gabriel is just basically say, here's the Comedy Store, here's the Laugh Factory. But, this talent, I saw it the minute I saw him. He was very nervous. He started doing his voice and stuff like that. And said, whoa, 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 I'm not William Morris. I see you have talent. And you understand him good. I just pointed at him one direction, and he did the rest.
So, okay, so you got to the Comedy Store. Was it that's where you did your first appearance?
Well, you don't start at the Comedy Store. I started in Westwood. They had this kind of like the minor leagues, if you will. And if you were any good there, she'd move you on to Sunset, and she moved me right away. And I have great love and great respect for Mitzi Shore, who she was like my comedy mom. To this day, when you walk into the Comedy Store, there's a big picture of me and all the people who are favorites. My name is the lights in the main room, and in her will, that's never to change. She's gone, and I missed her terribly. But if it wasn't for her taking an interest in me, who knows? Maybe I would have been a personal injury lawyer and been real rich right now.
And then in 1983, it was, you had a show. You were the star of your own sitcom.
And that's
AKA
something.
Pablo. How did that happen?
Well, I was performing in the main room, and a waitress came up to me and goes, hey, Norman Lear was to talk to you, but I didn't take her serious because that was a running joke there. When you were on stage, they would say, hey, Spielberg wants to talk to you. And of course, it was a joke, but I was about to walk away. She goes, "No, really, Norman Lear is out there." And I peeked, and it was him. He talked to me. I went to Universal. He gave me a deal. I went from sleeping in my car and then sleeping upstairs. Mitzi Shore had a room for all the comics. Some of them still live there. And to make $2 million, I went to the bank. I went crazy about my parents' a ranch. I bought myself a Porsche, bought my dad a Cadillac, and within 6 months I was flat broke. That's how responsible I am. And I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, you grow, you learn. I never thought I figured I'd give this a run and then I'd stop and go to college.
So tell me about doing a sitcom. I mean, there was a buzz all over because I used to be an actress at that time, and we were so like amazed, that this was a Latino and he had his own show. How was it? Was it hard? Was it scary?
It was fun. I knew it was never going to go anywhere because I tried to tell them that although all Latinos sound funny to them, to Latinos, we know this guy's from Nicaragua, this guy's from Cuban, this guy's Mexican, and that wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Well.
They had like my brother was Osvaldo. He was a Cuban guy, and my manager was a Puerto Rican who was one of the greatest actors, Hector Elizondo, and Joe Santos was my father. Katie Jurado, a great actress, was my mother. So my sister was from Venezuela, but we were a family. So to Latinos, when they saw it, they knew it was fake. I knew it was fake, but what was I going to tell Norman Lear? So I just shut up and I took the money. It had 8 episodes, and then I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. And I figured when this dies, I'll go back to college and finish this. But after that, Cheech Marin came into life, gave me Born in East LA. And after that, I knew I was never going to go back, no matter what,
So you have done so much in this industry, in this entertainment industry. You've done stand-up, sitcoms, you've done drama, you've done comedy and movies. And you've had your own talk show. You've done animated characters. You've also worked on big budget films. You worked on Beverly Hills, Chihuahua, which you did the voice. You did legwork. You worked with Clint Eastwood. And then you did Ali. Tell us about that. You played a real life character.
Freddie Pacheco.
A
very surly Cuban guy who kind of messed things up for me. But, he was upset that I got the part. He wanted Andy Garcia to get the part. And Michael Mann try to tell him, look, you are a very unattractive man. We're looking for an unattractive actor. Andy Garcia is a star. He's too good looking to play you. But it was a fun experience in the sense that I went to Africa, I hung out, I flew over Victoria Falls, but it wasn't a fun experience in the sense that, Will Smith was not a good guy to work with. He was surly, but, I just stay away from him. And, the world knows now how he was always, So,
exactly. Because this happened. When was the movie done? 1990.
It was done way back in 2003, 4. Yeah.
Now you are producing your own films.
It's my swan song. I've never been the kind of guy that sits and curses out the studios for not putting us on. Everybody knows that we're the most represented. Especially Mexicans, not forget about everybody else. Mexicans were the least underappreciated or represented. But when Hollywood doesn't come to me, I do my own. When I have a press film, I did $1 million to Juan. That's had success. And but I've been very fortunate, more fortunate than others who are far more talented, I believe. But I'm a hustler. I'm not the kind of guy that sits at home and goes and waits for Hollywood to come to me. I'll make my own,
So $1 million to Juan, $1 million to Juan. That was your own. You put all of that movie together with talent, money, finding the monies, and everything.
Yeah, having friends is worth more than money. I just called upon Edward Olmos, and I called upon all the people. Paul Williams, a great musical writer. If you look at that movie, it stands the test of time because there's no magic. You put good people in a role, and they'll make you look good. What's there to it? the girl that runs her and her husband, Valenzuela, they run the theater.
Jose Luis Valenzuela and Evelina.
Evelina was wonderful. You know, when you look at her heart breaks, her daughter dies, just, everybody there, all I have to do is just point the camera, Tony Plana, come on, the guy studied at the National Academy of Arts. So I've always worked with my betters, and I just did it again, and I think
Yes, which brings us to holy cash.
holy
This is your new film that you produced and put together, and I saw a clip at the Mexican American Film and Television Festival, and the whole room was just busting out in laughter.
And if the Lord can forgive me, he can forgive a crackhead like you. How much did we make? $34,700.95. It's Randall! Oh, hey. On God. I am in hell. Oh, God. I want to hear the word of the Lord.
Oh, real. What order do you belong to?
Restraining. I'm talking about you. You ain't like a man. Preacher Pablo, sinners. Preacher Pablo is here for you, not for me. It's for you.
Tell us about that film.
some clips, everybody knows some trailers are better than the movie, and some movies are better than the trailer. I think I got a even thing here. What happened was that I had quadruple bypass. I'm laying in the hospital. I'm kind of upset that I survived. I've done everything there's to do. I have a wonderful son. He doesn't need my money. And I had made peace with everything. I'd come from New York and I got COVID over there before anybody knew what COVID was. Like me, I'm always a pioneer. First disease, I'll take it. And, and I was at the golf course with a friend of mine, happens to be a big time doctor. By the grace of God, he was there when I had my heart problems. I said, look, Dr. Agron, I'm going to go to Tarzan and lay down. I'm tired. I just came back from Canada. I'll be okay. He goes, no, let me take your blood pressure. And his eyes bulged. He goes, I've never seen blood pressure this high. I have no idea how are you standing, So I said, he says, you got to go to the emergency room. I fought. I said, no, look, I know me. I'm old. I just got to get some sleep. Thank God he insisted. 6 hours later, I was under the knife, quadruple bypass. I come out of surgery. My son's there. I'm going through this terrible depression. It's all over. What am I going to do now? Who's going to hire me with this medical problem? And my son told me something that I had told him a long time ago. I said, Paulie, whatever got you there will keep you there. When he was going through this, I'm too old to be a skateboarder at 28. Oh my God, what are you talking about? I said, get back on that skateboard, And he threw it back at me, He said, Dad, what got you there will keep you there. And then he said, what got you there? I said, stand up. He said, well, get out there in the clubs again. And I did. It made me happy. My material got better. But before I left the hospital, I started to sketch some ideas about a movie. And my surgeon friend, he said, what are you doing, Rodriguez? I said, it's an idea for a possible, independent, low budget movie. He said, give me here. He read it. The next day, he gave me $60,000. I said, wow.
Wow.
Most of the time, you give doctors that kind of money. They don't give you, And that picked up my spirits. My son threw in some money. I had sold my house. I threw in some money. And then, just ordinary people started throwing small budgets, but it added up. I had my dentist. He gave me 10 grand. A friend of mine, 5. Everybody just helped. Before you know it, I raised $1.5 million. We shot this movie in the middle of COVID. And then what do I do now? Just a bunch of pieces, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It was terrible. So I called upon my betters. I got Luis Guzman, who's probably one of the biggest Latino stars.
You got big names in this.
I got Danny Trejo. You're bigger than that. I got Catherine Bach. You remember Daisy Dukes?
Yes,
It's all my friends. I got the best comics out there. I got Felipe Esparza. I got Jerry Garcia. I got Jay Moore. He's married to the owner of the Lakers. Hey, you can go around there. And, you get talented people and they do talented work and everything came about. I didn't know anything about editing. So I went to my friend who works with Adam Sandler. They directed me in the right way. Editing is an art form. That's really where a movie's made. They cut it together and you know what? They screened it and I go, praise God. It really is funny,
I already want to see this movie. The theater already wants to show it. There's this buzz. And you still haven't even told me what it's about. What is the premise of the film?
Very simple. Two life con men, criminals have been in and out of jail, doing life on the installment plan. Jay Moore and myself in and out. And this last time we come out, they tell us, look, one more time, you're in there for life. So we're looking for a con that's lucrative and less dangerous, right? And we hit upon religion. Tony Plana, another great actor who's in it, he plays this Catholic father, has Catholic charities. He's on TV, and he passes away. And then I go over there and I take over. I take over his thing, but we're not being very successful. So I show business it up. I become Walter Mercado with a cross. And
Don't tell us more, because you want to leave something.
oh, there's so much. But the whole thing is that we start making money using God, and God doesn't like it. And it's basically that's the story. I went down to South Central Los Angeles, and I got the good folks at the Baptist church to open their arms, and they're charging very little. And I use their choir. It's got great music, and I used Ari Spears as this flamboyant preacher named Dr. Reverend Willie Dollars, who I had done time in jail with, and he sends me to a reverend school, and we do that, and we start making our own scam.
You're doing a little bit of a Tyler Perry kind of thing, right? Because he works a lot with church themes,
Yeah, but I'm different. I'm a Chicano healer, and just it's not a new idea, but I think that it'll resonate with people. Yeah, it's not a racial thing. We have blacks, we have whites. It's just about these two guys trying to get over on the system. The jokes are there, and I'm happy with it. People are when they screen it. If it's good enough for AMC, it's good enough for me. And we're gonna let that go.
So tell me, you've had such a rich life and such a wonderful career. Tell me one of the highlights that you had that you still are amazed that it happened.
I had dinner with Nelson Mandela in Africa.
No.
I knew Cesar Chavez since I was 9 years old. I have met Princess Kings, and I have met the homeless gang members, borrachos, the whole strata. And everybody's interesting. Everybody has a story to tell. And I've been very, very lucky. I'm a happy guy. When I fade away, it won't be bitter. I'm not blaming anybody, because I've had a wonderful life, And if I pass away tomorrow, don't cry for me, Argentina. I have no regrets. It's been wonderful. I've got a wonderful son. I'm proud of him, and I go away not mad, but just fade away very happy.
Well, yeah, Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you,
so much.
Thank you. You are a pioneer. We've been around a long time. You've done a lot of great work. God bless you for our friendship over the years, and thank you for your airtime, and for all the people watching me. Hey, just smile, baby. Nobody gets out of this alive,